Okay, there we are. We are back. Sorry about that. We had a electrical glitch right there. That was kind of weird. Anyways, so getting ready to start here in this Casey Cares charity race. Really happy to have them on board and raising some money for them. Every driver has paid to be in here. Now, I will say also that these drivers have paid or are going to get a top 3 payout. We offered that to entice some of our friends to come and join here. And so the top 3 will probably be interviewing after the race, but the pace truck is off and we're going to get this thing started. And remember, at Talladega, the start finish is not in the top of the tri-oval. It is further down the road. So there we go in the restart zone. They are underway. Chris Barker gets a great jump there to start. And he's out front solo now, so he could go to the top side and pick up his teammate if he wanted to, but it looks like he's going to stay to the bottom for now. Everybody kind of cordially in line here. Nobody jumping out, trying to make it 3 wide. We're gonna try to keep it nice and clean here at the beginning. Everybody's got one fast repair to work with, so they are going to have to race clean as they can, because the big one can happen even if it's not your fault and it happens in front of you, and may have to use that fast repair. So they are going to use that wisely and try to stay calm here at the beginning. As you see, 2x2, 93 truck kind of falling behind there a little bit. Thomas Hall there hasn't quite lost the draft yet. Sure, he'll be fine here. Saw the 54 there. Scott Millard going a little bit wide, going all the way up to the top of the track, using it all. And there they go. Again, coming around turn 3 and 4. And it looks like that bottom line is definitely working. The 64's jumped up there in front of Steven Chu in the 00. So teammates for Foothills not able to get hooked up just yet, and they're going to have to kind of battle this on their own for now. Bottom line definitely looking good. Has 2 trucks clear now. And that top line just not really hooked up. There's a big gap behind that 00 to the 101. And there the 00 goes down to the bottom, leaves them, so we might be single file here before long. Now that outside lane with the 31 and the 55, both of those same paint scheme for Casey Cares tonight, and those guys are hooking up and getting going there. 31 is Stephen Connor, and the 55 is Mascot Mike. And they are making that outside work now. Looks like the 54 there is on the 3rd lane. First time we've seen 3 wide tonight from the middle of the pack. Not able to make any momentum there, as he didn't have much help behind him, so he has to fall back in line. And now you see 3 wide again there. Scott Millard trying to make something on the high side happen, but just not able to do it just yet. Oh, we got a car down a little bit more towards the inside there. Looks like the 98 there. That is Jesse Glover. And now the outside lane looking real good with Mike Babinchek, Mascot Mike there in the 55, pushing the 31 out to the lead at this point. Very, very close, though. Not really sure who's in the lead at this point, but definitely making some moves on the high side. Now Mascot Mike pulls out a little bit. Now that may have just been because he needed to get some air, because the truck gets really, really hot when you're sucked up to another truck like that. He may have needed to get some air in that engine, and that's going to cost him a couple of spots. But no need to be aggressive right now. He proved a point. He's a good pusher. He can get out front. Meanwhile, Chris Barker still in the lead and has been up front of that bottom line the entire race so far. Ooh, and you see a truck in the wall there just a little bit. Probably not going to hurt him too bad, except for momentum coming down the backstretch. So he's going to lose some spots there in the third lane. That's the 64 Morgan. And I think I saw a truck sideways back there. That's Glover. He is around, and we'll see if we get a caution for this. He is still on the infield. No caution yet. Looks like he might just be pulling it straight to pit road. Meanwhile, up front here, it looks like Steven Shu and Chris Barker, Foothills teammates, have linked up. They have gotten it together, so we'll see how they can control the pace here. And the 98 is definitely in the pits now. Let's take a look back and see exactly what happened there. Oh, so the 93 of Thomas Hall and the 98 kind of got together. Because it was a solo spin away from the field, no caution thrown there by iRacing. So we continue on. Now, oh no, the 29 was out front and everybody's collected up right there. 29 looked like he just came down a little bit too much on the 46. We'll get a look at this here in a moment. Let's see. Let's take a look. Take a look here first. Well, that's kind of... Let's see. That's already happening right there. Go here. And I'm just going to manually kind of back this up a little bit so we can take a look. And you see the 29 there out to the front of the screen. And yeah, he just kind of comes down a little bit too much on the 46. 46 can't go below that yellow line. And the 29, unfortunately, did not give him enough room. So this is our first caution of the night at lap 8. And we got some good trucks kind of wadded up a little bit here. And it looks like if I'm the 46 here, I don't think I'm taking a fast repair. I'm probably going to sit in the pits for a little bit to try to get some repairs. Connor in the 31 looks pretty clean, and he is out front. He's coming around to catch the pace car now. Let's take a look. Steven Shu looks pretty clean after all of that. Ingram looks pretty good. Scott Millard looks pretty clean there as well. Morgan looks good. The 101 of Shepard behind him looks good. So not a ton of damage here. Got a couple of cars. We got Foster. Foster's in the pits. Get their Glover's in the pits. Couple of guys not so good there. 55 Mascot Mike. He looks like he's doing just fine. Doesn't look wrinkled up. I would say everybody that was in it a little bit at least is going to go ahead and come into the pits and get at least a few minutes of repairs done. You see on the back of that 55, the tailgate kind of caved in a little bit. That's not going to hurt him too bad unless that spoiler is bent, and then that's going to cause a little bit of an aero issue. But it looks pretty decent. You just see that tailgate is kind of beat up a little bit. So we will the race off pit road. Looks like the 31 is going to stay out. And no harm, no foul there. He doesn't have any damage. Everybody else is going to kind of try to come in and get some damage fixed here. And they come out, and some guys are getting tires as well. They have 2 sets during this race, so it's a little early to get tires. But this is not a track that typically will will eat up your tires really fast. It is a hot track today, so a little bit more than normal, but not really a big deal, so to speak, as far as tires go. So 2 sets is plenty for these drivers tonight. While we have the time, if you're just tuning in, just want to reiterate, this is a charity race for Casey Cares Foundation. You see kind of the logos up there. You can see the QR code to donate. They do a lot of work for the last 25 years helping critically ill children and their families, and so we are trying to raise some money for them to help their efforts. So Connor's going to be out front on this restart with older tires, but tires don't make a huge bit of difference here. So I think he's going to be just fine out front there. Everybody else, after coming in and getting a little bit of repairs and whatnot, they should be ready to go. And lights are still on the pace truck, so as they round turn 4 here, we'll see if the lights come off and we get one to go this time by. I do believe that's what we should be getting here. Mascot Mike just now making his way off of pit road after sitting there and getting some repairs so he doesn't go a lap down. He'll catch back up. He'll be at the tail of the field, but have some good repairs done here. See if we can get a glimpse at the back of his truck, as it was pretty banged in before, and it looks like they got that beat out pretty good there, so he's going to be just fine on the aero side of things, so he should be able to race with no problems. Still got some trucks catching up and coming out of the pits. There goes the 15 now. That's Rob Willoit. And we are one to go, so these guys are going to get themselves caught back up and back into things here. And these laps take a long time under caution at a 2.5 mile track. I think we'll probably see these guys take it a little bit easy here on this restart after that big crash. I think a lot of guys are gonna just say, hey, let's get through this. Let's get some laps under our belt. You know, there's plenty of time for racing. Realistically, you don't have to make your way to the front until it's 5 to go. So just kind of jockeying around for position. As you see, Mascot Mike is now caught up there, so he's able to start back. And Scott Millard's got an issue back there. Not sure what happened there. It almost looked like a hardware issue. Something with his system kind of gave out on him, because that truck just went into the wall for no reason. They have some computer problems over there. Probably won't be with the pack when he gets going here, but the pace truck is off and we're going to get going again after our first caution. So Connor's going to bring him through the restart zone here and get him up to speed. There he goes. Steven Chu gets a great jump on the outside. Broken up on the bottom, the 16 truck of Ingram, not up to the 31. Now he's getting caught up to him. And it looks like Connor will have advantages. Steven Chu on the outside has no help up there. Mascot Mike, couple trucks back, trying to push Mike Allen to the 00 so that they can get something going on the outside. Chris Barker on the inside of the track there got kind of shoved coming out of the corner. Didn't like that and got out of the way there. Probably does not want another wreck. Side by side, 3 rows deep here. Look at the push on the outside that the 29 is giving the 00. Now the 29 kind of peeking out, and the 55 looks like he's going to go with him. That's going to leave the 00 kind of stuck in the middle. Does get the 64 to finally get behind him. A little bit of help. No, he's going to go to the bottom. 00 still going to be falling back here. But that outside line, I think they've done more damage to everybody. They're all kind of behind here. So that's not really working out at this time. But this is the time to try things and see what's going to work for the truck and how this is going to play out. Mascot Mike ends up going with Steven Shue, so now they are in line. Remember, Mike was a good pusher a little while ago. Let's see if he can continue that. Get these guys back up to the front of the field. Whoa! And the 15 there of Willoyd just kind of came up a little bit, almost hit Shue, and that could have been another one right there. And Willoyd kind of does it again there, and now he's stuck in the middle in that 15 truck. Got no help. See Chris Barker, Alex Foster at the tail end of our field here, side by side. They are teammates, and it looks like they are content with just hanging back a little bit here. I think they know that another one is going to happen, and they don't want to be part of this one, so they're just kind of hanging back and waiting for the laps to click off before they start trying to get competitive. Meanwhile, Steven Shue on the outside has taken the lead. I got to imagine Mascot Mike's truck is getting pretty hot. He's going to have to get some air pretty soon here. And there he goes. He went to the bottom. He needed to. He needed to get some air. So he heads to the bottom with his sister twin car there, the Casey Cares Chrome paint scheme, and they're going to see what they can do. Got Mike leading here at Talladega for a while. And as soon as I say that, the outside lane looks like it's getting a little bit of momentum now, so it's taking the lead back. Car's just wiggling around now. That's an aero issue with the trucks and the hot racing surface. Very hard to keep up with your steering. And Mike's back out front, the inside line, getting a little bit of momentum. Now that they got 4 trucks down there, they're definitely doing a little bit faster. And Mike Allen pulls out to the 3rd lane, but that's not going to work for him as nobody goes with him, so he's going to fall back now. And Steven Shue looks to be out there pretty much by himself at this point. Want to take a look at how close these trucks are actually racing. Let's go on board with Stephen Connor there. You can see the fuel cell, they're that close. And that's what they're dealing with. Go to the roll bar and you can see kind of from the passenger seat what he's looking at. He can't even see the track. It's just a bunch of truck in front of him. And that's how hard it is. And going into the corner, he just has to kind of go off of when the banking starts and follow the yellow line. Now you see him dipping in right there, not necessarily to make a pass, but to get some air into the radiator of that truck so he can cool down a little bit. I can see on his dash right there, he's running a 200 water temperature right now. That's very high. Not too high for these trucks, but it is definitely a high temperature. So, basically single file at this point. The outside line broke up and everybody kind of had to get in line. We got a truck out front. I think that's Millard that's going to be lapped here in a little bit. We'll see how they maneuver their way around him. Lone truck outside, there's the 16, I believe it is. That's Ingram. He's going to have to get in line here, and we are completely single file for the time being. See from up top. Now we see a truck in the back there trying to make a little bit of a move, but doesn't have a whole lot of help, and you can see that gap out front to the lap car. That's going to be interesting once they get to him. They're all single file. It'll be easy with this truck on the outside. They're going to have to go 3 wide, and that's going to make it real interesting when they get there. The speed difference is going to be huge. There he is on the outside. Everybody's way to the inside. He goes outside to let him by. Ooh, a little close there. See the trucks kind of gapping a little bit. You know, the C64 backing off. Needs to get a little bit of air, and then he'll get back to it. The 15 trying to push him through. We'll see if he stays in line or goes around. The 16 is still out there trying to make it happen on the outside. Not doing a bad job with side drafting. I mean, he's staying up there. He's not falling like a rock, so he's doing pretty good just side drafting this single file line. Got to imagine Connor there's been behind Mascot Mike for quite a while. He probably needs to get some air. He keeps dipping down low there to get air, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. He may need to switch lanes and be out front for a little while to cool the truck down. Go on board with Josh Ingram on the roll bar. See what he's from the high side there. He is definitely a little bit slower through the corners. Falling back a little bit now. Now it looks like we got another lap car up top. That's Tom Hall in the 93. He's currently in the 10th position. Now the 16 out top there, Ingram, he's going to try to use the lap car as a drafting partner. But Millard in that 54 just looks really loose, like he's still got a little bit of damage on that truck, and it's once he gets up to that speed draft, it's very difficult for him to keep it steady. So not sure that's going to be the best drafting partner right now, but nobody else is going up to the high side, so nobody else really wants to get involved. Mascot Mike out here leading quite a few laps now. And pretty good out front. $15 now has jumped out there, and the 16 is back in line. I'm sure the 16, once he gets clear of the 54, will definitely want to go back to the outside. He's wanted to be up there for a while, and now that he's got somebody up there, he's definitely going to try to get up there with them, I'm sure, and see what they can do together. Even Shoe 00. He started outside the front lane. Now we got a couple guys peeling off here to pit at lap 24. So they're getting some fuel. Oh, and the 31, they are getting into it right there. Go up top. I think that's the 31 that's around. Yeah, the 31 of Connor went around on entry there. We'll have to see if anybody got any sort of penalty for speeding or anything like that. But 3 trucks go ahead and pit now, and the rest of the field is going to stay out. Some of them may have topped off at that caution, so they have another, 10, 12 laps or so before they need to pit. We'll have to keep an eye on it and see when these guys want to go ahead and come in. Take a look. So Mascot Mike now coming off of pit road, but he is alone. And he's not going to have anybody to draft Blue Whip. Now, the field is going to be coming at him here very shortly, and therefore he will be able to pick up their draft and stay with them, but he'll be a lap down until they pit. Go back out to the front here. Rob Willoy is leading. Stephen Shute second. Mike Allen is third. Now they're passing the 31 here, who's the one that got kind of spun going into pits. So he's going to try to drop down below that 24 right there and see if he can get in line and sniff that draft a little bit. Lots of single file racing here. Watching a 16 truck kind of going even in and out a little bit. Not sure if he's just trying to get air into that truck or if he's just having some handling issues. This hot track, not too sure. Even Shoe gets out of line and maybe getting ready to pit here. You'll see, and you see the truck up there. That's Mike Babinchek there. He is about to be lapped. He's just going to have to let that happen and then get in line. See how much faster they are here in the draft, so he's gonna have to kind of fall in where he can. There is a gap there if he wants to try to take it. But the leaders are gonna have to pit here pretty soon. Now back here, Mascot Mike and Connor working together there, trying to push forward to get their lap back. They know that these guys have to pit still, but if they could get back out front. Oh, and Willoy tries to get a little bit of a block there, can't make that happen. And now he's going to try to push to the front here, get them both clear if he can. And then they can take control of the race, and then everybody's going to have to pit behind him. That would be ideal for these guys, but they're not able to do that yet. Need to get hooked up and push through. Can only do it for so long before that truck starts to overheat, though. So we're at a point here where about 5 to 7 laps. I would expect these guys to hit that haven't yet. Possibly. I'm not sure about their fuel level, so we'll have to see. Oh no, and the 31 is loose. Flipped the wall there, definitely took some speed out of the truck. It looks like the left front's got a little bit of damage, but I wouldn't say it's terrible. I think that thing is still going to be drivable. A little wrinkled up there, you see, but not too bad. So Mike Allen now out front. As the 15 gets shuffled back, and trying to look at the Foothills guys, there they are. So they, I don't believe, have pit yet. But also not really worried about hanging out with the guys up front. So they are doing their own thing right now. Here's our leaders here with a couple of trucks that are a lap down. Question is, when are they gonna pit? And you see Mascot Mike not able to do a ton with the 54, who's got some damage behind him. Really not able to make up any ground trying to get out front of these guys. So he may have to just fall in line to keep the draft. And there he goes. He's going to get in line to keep up with these leaders. Dakota Shepard there after his pit stop. He's going to be in front of these guys shortly here. They're going to go the high side around him. Wow, the 16 goes way low. Now they're 3 wide out there because 16 got out of shape. Yeah, Mascot Mike's going to back off of that. That's a smart move right there. You don't need to go into their 3 wide and end up having a wreck. Way too early for that. So Dakota Shepard in that 101, he's able to stay with these leaders as well. He's also just a lap down, so he's going to be trying the same thing Mike is trying, and maybe they can hook up as you do see these guys start to peel off. So that's the top 3 right there that are leaving the track. Ooh, and the 16 is sliding through. It's tough to get down to that speed. I think it's 70 mile an hour or 65 in the pits, and it is very difficult to get to that speed when you're going 200. And we see a bunch, about 5 different trucks on pit road right now. Everybody that hasn't pit is now. So I think as it cycles, we'll find out. But these guys are still on track. They have already pit. The 54 is slightly out of control right there. And we'll see where these guys end up as the leaders come off of pit road. 64 is going to be the first one off of pit road, followed by the 29 and the 15. These guys are coming through the tri-oval now, and will definitely get with these guys, I would imagine, as they come up to speed. Going to pass Alex Foster there. And we have a caution on track. Not sure what happened. Looks like it might be Ingram. Let's take a look at this right here. Ingram's coming out of the pits. Got a little loose there. Went to hit the throttle, and you just, yeah, you can't. So when you hit full throttle in first gear like that, it's just going to spin out to the side there. And because he's in the middle of the track like that, caution is going to come out. So, second caution at lap 35, almost halfway in this race now. And this is going to kind of mix things up a little bit here. We'll have to see where everybody ends up and how this all pans out. So as they go around and they try to catch the like 29, Desi's in the pit, but he's right there. So iRacing is going to have to catch up on that. But looks like he is actually going to be scored our leader, 15 behind him, because these guys came out of the pits and the 55 had not had a chance to get around them, even though they were a lot faster. So interesting timing, but everybody's pretty much going to be back on the same level playing field here, except for a few guys. Somebody will get a wave around, and we will have probably 8 on the lead lap here. And let's see who all's actually going to hit pit road here. Guys that hadn't after a while, you can see the 16 is completely damaged. That tire is off the ground on the right front, so he's definitely coming in. The 15 is going to come in. This is probably just for top off, not for tires. I think they're just going to top off fuel so that they can make sure they have enough to the end. See the 55 coming in as well. Mascot Mike, he is going to be he is definitely going to be on the older tires, but not too old. They're going to be fine. He doesn't need to take tires. I think he's going to have one more set, and I would not take it just yet. I might wait another 20 laps or so before I did that. So there goes the wave around. That's Thomas Hall in the 90 back on the lap. And Mascot Mike coming out of the pits. He's going to be our third place driver. Let's see if we can find him somewhere here. Mascot Mike, Matthew in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Matt.
Hey, good run out there. You were leading quite a few laps. How was that?
Car's hooked up pretty good. Got some good teammates here tonight, and hopefully we can be here at the end.
Absolutely. Well, hey, I think we got a couple of laps here. We talked to Mike earlier, about Casey Cares. This is close to your heart. It means a lot to you. Tell us a little bit about how this came together and what this cause is.
Pretty much just through Mike with doing our annual benefit in October, and he promotes it all year long. They do fishing trips and other fundraisers and stuff to raise money for the kids. And I said, you know what, here I am on a sim with a bunch of good guys, and I think it would be a great way for all the families to tune in for a night, follow the broadcast, and see what we do for fun, and doing so just try to raise some money for them and pay it forward. We're all fortunate here. We're